Oleander incident. We're going to go through our speakers. We won't ask any questions towards the end. We'll have a Q&A. And I would like to introduce County Supervisor Jeff Hugh.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you all for coming out today. On behalf of the County of Riverside, I'd first like to say thank you all that are trying to get around this mess right now. You know, it's going to take patience, and we thank you for that patience. And we want you to especially make sure that you think ahead going somewhere and take a little bit extra time. We're going to get through this. I'd like to thank Cal Fire. I'd like to thank the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, the EMD, CHP, the EPA, and especially Val Verde School District for furnishing us with this impromptu, really great place to have an incident command. Over the next few days, it could be really trying. But I think if we hold together, we've been through recently quite a trying time in our nation and in our county. I think this will be a time to test our will, and I think we're there. All of us up here we're really working hard for a safe and a timely resolution to this problem, and hopefully we'll have some better news shortly. Thank you.
This is a very dynamic incident, and we are in a unified command with multiple agencies, and our incident commander of this incident is going to be Chief Park.
Good afternoon, thank you. My name is Jesse Park. I'm Cal Fire Riverside County Division Chief 4, and I'm the incident commander for the Riverside County Fire Department. Last night at about 7:41, smoke was noticed coming from a train car. This initiated a hazmat response, and out of an abundance of caution, we had to set up an evacuation zone and evacuate about 170 people. Right now, we're still monitoring the situation, making sure that it doesn't escalate. So we are going to be doing an operational briefing right now with our operations section chief.
And I'd like to introduce Mark Scoville. He'll go over today's operations and what they've been dealing with.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Scoville, Incident Operations Chief. Currently, what we have going on is a very dynamic incident, as already said. The tank car in question was off-gas last night. We have not had any further off-gases from it. And currently, we are doing a overhead evaluation using our drones for temperature-related items to ensure that the tank itself is staying at a static temperature. We are currently working with local, state, federal assets to ascertain and mitigate the issue and lessen the impact to the community. I'll leave you to the hazmat expert to comment on the tank itself.
Austin, Florida, connected with the hazardous response team close at the point. So currently, our actions remain the same. We are conducting our protective actions of isolating the area. We are denying entry to public, and we're conducting regular temperature checks of the tank car in question. Right now, we are currently trending in a positive direction where the temperatures are dropping some. It's not significant enough to where we can still intervene anything. So at this point, we are trending in the way we want to go, but still too dangerous to have any mitigation efforts take place. At this point,
So we're going to be in some of our unified commanders, and that's going to be Lieutenant from CHP, Lieutenant Todd Kolovitz.
Afternoon, Lieutenant Todd Kolovitz, Riverside CHP Office. First of all, thank you to our media partners who helped us get the word out there about these road closures. Obviously, the Interstate 215 is a main artery. Right now, we have 215 closed in both directions, in the Alto Expressway and Campus. Everybody's diverted off with a little northbound at the
Riverboat, and south we're located off the campus. We will continue to urge people to avoid the area, use alternate routes, east or west or south, which are traffic deaths around this area. We do anticipate a full closure until we have green-light apartments. Our department will release on this.
And next, I'd like to bring up Sheriff Chad Bianco.
Hello, Chad Bianco, Riverside County Sheriff. Last night we responded with fire. Once we assumed an incident command, we began with evacuations. We have evacuated 170 residences. You can find on our website, you can find the places where you can go if you have been evacuated, or if you come into the area and find that you cannot make it to your house. We do have the area closed off. Deputies are continuing to patrol through the area to make sure that everyone is safe in there, to make sure your residents are safe if we evacuated you. And anytime you need anything, call our non-emergency number, or you can find the information for evacuation sites online. Other than that, we just ask everyone to please be patient, please be calm, stay out of the area if at all possible, and do not try and just drive into the area. If you have to go in for some type of an emergency, make sure you stop a deputy and let them know, and we will deal with that situation as it arises. Thank you.
And next up is Emergency Management Department, Shane Whitehouse.
Shane Reinhardt, Senior Public Information Officer for the Emergency Management Department. We continue to support the incident. We do have various county departments here to assist the residents that are impacted by this. Social services, the animal services, as well as the American Red Cross. They are staffing a shelter. That shelter is at the Finicata Middle School. That address is 1990 A Street in Paris. The County Emergency Operations Center is available should it need to be activated so that we can support our residents and get them home as safely and as quickly as possible. We remind all residents to sign up for emergency local alerts at rivcoready.org/alertrivco.
So now we're going to open it for some Q&A. Again, we want to do a special interview afterwards. These gentlemen will be available to you after the break conference. So we'll take questions at this time.
The tanker car, is it by itself on a rail, or is it part of a train that was being pulled through? And what includes the carrier?
So the carriers are private carriers and private carriers. The tank car is on the BNSF railroad spur on private property. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, is it by itself? Is it hooked up?
It's surrounded by approximately 12 other tanker cars, and we're currently looking at trying to get those cars moved away so they're no longer an issue.
How long has it been sitting there?
The tanker car arrived at that facility on August 3rd.
Why was it allowed to sit there so long in this heat?
I can't answer that, sir.
What's in the other tankers when it comes to, I guess, chemicals, and what's the biggest challenge for you guys right now?
Yes, sir. So we do have a multitude of chemicals that are surrounding the tank car itself, ranging from flammable liquid tank cars, along with corrosives, and some. There is an empty car over there, but those are the main concerns.
What's the biggest challenge for you right now?
Right now, the biggest challenge is what we're facing is waiting out the reaction that's going on with the car in question, and wait to see if continue to trend in the way that we're going, and that the temperatures are going to start dropping significantly more, so that we can actually do some interventions to remove some of the dangers that are placed with it.
And Captain, earlier today you said you're using drones to calculate the temperature. How accurate is that? Because I think earlier you recorded the highest temperature being 323. Do you think that's fairly accurate, or is there a wide degree?
It is difficult to get an accurate reading just because of the safety considerations we have to have with getting anyone close to it. So as you mentioned, we're utilizing drones to get temperatures at the protected housing, which is the top of the rail car where the drone is. That's protected housing. We're utilizing our drone to use its infrared equipment to take temperature readings at that housing. We started with 100 feet above this car, and we've been monitoring there, and now we've been able to drop lower and get more accurate readings. But again, we don't know exactly the temperature of the inside of the car. We're only basing it on what's on the top portion of the car.
How does the drone read the temperature?
It has infrared capabilities. So it has a temperature reading for the engine on the infrared.
And for those of us who don't understand this, why is this, can you explain why this is in danger of exploding in convenience terms?
Yes, so the chemical itself is called styrene. It is a highly flammable liquid. The problem that's happening with this car, we don't know what caused it, but we believe it's causing a chemical reaction called polymerization. In that chemical reaction, what happens is heat buildup is basically going on inside the car. The contents of that product are basically boiling inside a closed container. So because it's boiling, it's building up pressure. We don't know if the possibility of any kind of rupture or any kind of weakness for the car. So currently we're just continuing to monitor the situation.
I know this is rare and it's supposed to be kept at a certain temperature. How did it happen? How did it?
Again, there's multiple factors. We're not exactly sure what caused this reaction. We just know, we believe this is what's going on, is that chemical reaction of it polymerizing.
How long had it been in transit? I know it had been sitting since August 3rd, but how long was it in transit?
So to the best of our knowledge, tanker car in question has been in transit from the time it was filled in Texas to the date today has been 50 days. I mean, 50. It's coming here to be offloaded for different manufacturing companies.
What was that here? 3 months?
Polarization.
Polymerization. Polymerization, P-O-L-Y-M-E-R-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N.
Captain, the chemicals in the other tankers and nearby tankers, are those hazardous as well, or are they stable?
No, they're not a hazard for the incident. There is no chemical reaction or any problems that we're having with the other cars. The problem is we are unable to remove them from the area due to the danger being faced by the one car.
Are you going to build it close enough to like pour water on it
So the tank car itself is a insulated tank car. So putting water on the tank car is going to be not worth it.
What about the idea of towing it away to an unpopulated area?
So that is the actual plan, to remove the car, or at least to remove the other cars away from it. As I mentioned earlier, we are trending in a positive direction with the temperature readings on the car. So we don't want to necessarily move it or disrupt anything that's going on with that car. The safest avenue that we believe will be to remove the other cars first.
What temperature does it have to get to get to the lab?
So, speaking with other subject matter experts, private companies, the railroad company, what we're hoping to reach is somewhere around 150 degrees at either a bolster or the protective housing.
So once it gets to 150, what do you do then?
So at that point, we then work with the private contractor, which is hired by the company, to mitigate whether they're going to remove it from the scene or how are they going to deal with it.
Can Mr. Scoville clarify, are gases still being released from that, or you said it stopped already?
We have not had a vapor release from the container or the vessel since the 19th or 7 o'clock last night when the original release happened.
And what's your advice to residents right now as they're just waiting for some kind of answer as to when they could go home?
Be patient, please. We're working diligently to have it solved for everybody. The problem becomes we're dealing with a substance and an incident that is dynamic. So we don't want to put anybody back in their homes until we know that they are going to be safe. And I apologize up front to everyone.
For the CHP, sir, is there a point where you guys do feel pressure from the public and you say, we've got to reopen the 215 to take our chances? I'm sure you can I can see that we are already getting pressure from the public, but their safety to us is of the utmost importance. So that's why we work together in order not to use other directions. Obviously, we don't want to see people stuck in the freeway, people breaking down. Our officers are working diligently to monitor the traffic, but ultimately, their safety is a priority. Every chance that's going to be up, we're going to
no more further questions, again, they will be available at the end of the briefing to take individual questions. So this will include the briefing. So thank you all for coming.